Hi everybody, it's coffee time with Jo again. How are you doing? How's it going? I always ask that, and I know you're probably thinking, oh, we can't shout at you, but I just think it's nice just to start off with a little catch up and check we're all okay. It's cloudy here in Cheshire today, Monday morning, so I thought I'd have a bit of catch up with it being Monday. Hope you had a good weekend. It was nice here. Actually had the sun carried on for the weekend, which was good. Rain kept off till Monday, so that's useful, isn't it? If you want to grab a coffee, now's probably a good time, or a tea. Pop me on pause and get your brew ready. Today we're just going to do something really simple, but I have to say, as you know, for those of you that have followed me for a while, I do love white space. I love clean and simple but classy designs. That's not to say I don't love lots of blending on some designs. I do love to get very inky. As you know, I love my inks. I love they're just so versatile. I think give me some ink pads. I mean, today we're just going to use 3 oxide ink pads and a VersaFine Clair. And to be honest, that's all you need. I think sometimes people get a little bit carried away with trying to buy every single colour that there is, when you can create such beautiful work with just limited stash to start off with. So as I say, today my aim is to create these 2 designs, and this one I've called my 2 for 1, because as you know, with the stencils, I like to use almost my waste and my clean up of the stencil, which is this one. So this is the original one we're going to aim to make, and this is our bonus design. Now we're going to be using a stencil. As you know, Lavinia now makes stencils. So what Tracy's done is turned some of her stamping designs. This one's the seed heads. And again, I've used these stamps recently on designs, which you will have seen. So I thought it'd be nice to use the stencil. So what I'll do, I'll get on. Now, for this, I'm going to use, as you know, when I'm blending, I like to have 3 colours. But here, we're actually just going to use 2 and blend our 3rd. So I'm going for a nice pink and a blue, and then hopefully we're going to blend that purple. So if I pop those out of the way, and I'll make a start. Now, the 2 colours I've chosen is I've gone for Faded Jeans and Picked Raspberry, or Pickled Raspberry as we like to call it. And I'm going to be using blending tools. I mean, again, if you prefer smoothies, it's whatever you prefer, stencil brushes. And I tend to put mine, and I know it's a bit silly, but the way I work, so I'm going to have blue at the bottom and pink at the top. So for me, that's the way I would organise my work. And I've just realised I haven't grabbed myself a nice clean up cloth, so we'll get one of those ready. Now, in the last video, I put tape down my stencil and used it as a hinge. For this one, I'm going for, this is the card where you need that emergency card, that quick design. So I'm actually just going to angle mine this way, just because it's the way I like to work. Don't ask me why. You know, I have these funny... You will notice with your stencil as well, if I point out, the way the laser cuts, they almost have a front and a back. And if you look closer, you may not have noticed this before, but it's a little bit like card. You can always tell which side the guillotine's gone down on the card. And with the stencil, you can tell which side the laser. So you probably won't be able to tell on here, me showing you, but this is the front, which has got the clean cuts. And then if you look on the back, it's almost got a rougher edge. And you can actually feel it slightly with your nail. So try and make sure you've got the front facing up. And what we're going to do, we're going to aim here to put our ink in this area, because we want the white space around. And I'm just going to hold my stencil down. And I'm going to start with the blue. Now, you don't need to over ink your blending tool here. And we just want some nice light strokes. And again, go in the direction of the stencil. We don't want to come against these seed heads. Now, if you want to have a look, there doesn't look much ink there. Again, I'm holding the stencil down. Remember to just lift it up. Yeah, now look at that. You see how much ink we've got? Seem to have a stray bit there. So really, you know, you don't need... And my tip with this, again, don't put any more ink on. So, sometimes at workshops, I see people really over ink. And A, that wastes your ink, but B, it spoils the design. Now, I started with my main ink in here because this is where I want more colour. Round these edges, I want it light. So I'm doing nice light strokes around the edges. If I lift up again, can you see that's quite faint around the edges? So I'm just going to take this hand off, put a little bit of ink on my pink, not too much. I'm just going to check, yeah. Now again, I'm going to come in first here because that's where I want most colour. And I'm going to go over with the blue a bit because I want that to start to blend for the purple. And then as I've got less ink on here now, I'm just going to almost feather, and I want it nice and light at the top. So again, if I have a look, so I can afford to come up a little bit more, but not much more. And as I say, I want that nice light touch up there and just down the side. So I'm happy with that at the top. Let's have a look at the blending. Oh, that's quite nice, but I just think I want a bit more in this area. So I'm just going to go into the blue a little bit. And then I'm going to pick up my blue. I've not put any more ink on, and I'm just going to blend in that area. So all I'm doing at the minute is working in that blended area. And again, I'm just picking up. I'm not inking. I don't want any more ink. I just want to use what's on my tool. Yeah, and if I take that off, can you see? I'm more than happy with that. And how quick. I've got little... where these bits are coming from today. I'm more than happy with that, and that didn't take long at all, did it? So we've got the nice blue here, the pink there, and that subtle purple. And as I say, how faint and lovely is it round those edges? You almost don't want to see those edges. So I'm happy with that for that one. And what I'm going to do now, as you know, I like to use the ink that's left on my stencil here, but because we went back in and blended a lot, there's not much ink, so I'm actually going to add a little bit more, just direct to stencil. Now, if direct to paper is DTP, direct to stencil, DTS. There we go, we've made our own terminology now. So from now on, that's going to be DTS, direct to stencil. I'll pop the lids on, and then I've got another piece of card here ready, and just want to mop up any that's on my mat there. And then this is the bit where Eric gets his, put my card ready, Eric gets his shower. So I'm just going to go off camera, and all I'm doing is spritzing the ink. You've seen me do this before, and place it in the middle. I might just put it at an angle actually, yeah. Place it straight down, and I find a piece of kitchen roll and just give it a good press. And give that nice water and ink a couple of minutes just to relax into the card. Now, if you want to have a little nosy, again, keep this hand here. This is your hinge, and we can just pick this up, have a little bit of a, oh, look at that. See, we're starting to get already. I don't think I need much more than that, actually. I don't want too much colour. So I'll give that a dry, and then lift this up. Again, I hold that as a hinge. Do you know what? There might actually be more left on there. So that's what we've got here. I mean, that's beautiful. I have got a spare piece of card here. So let's just see. We might not. But do you know what? We'll just give it another spritz. If we don't like it, we can turn it over and use the other side, can't we? So let's see if we've got anything. That would be good. Called this 2 for. It could be a 3 for, couldn't it? 3 for the price of 1. I say there might be nothing on this, but you know what? We're not losing anything, are we? I love the 2 I've got already. So let's have a peek. Oh yeah, nice watery. Often I find these ones are the best because they're almost nice to build up because of those layers in the background. So again, hold it here, lift up. You're much more in control if you do it that way. We'll pop the stencil to one side. Look at that. So if I bring those in, we've got our original. Just want to check you can see them all. So that's the background we were making. That's our 2 for. And there we go. We've got a 3 for. Now I wonder which one do you prefer? Got to be honest, I love them all. And again, there's not much difference between these 2, is there? If anything, this is probably nicer. Although I don't know, I quite like the white bits on here. So again, 3 bits of card, a couple of ink pads, and you've got this. So what we'll do is these two will just pop to one side, and this is going to take next to no time at all to stamp up. I run out of one side. So I'm just going to get my magazine and my copy of paper like I do. Now the design I've gone for is nice, clean and simple. I've gone for this lovely verse, Fairy Wishes and Angel Kisses. And I'm just going to ink up in my VersaFine Clair. And just clean the block there. Now I'm going to put this in the middle. I don't often stamp in the middle. I would normally stamp off the middle, but I feel with this design it can really take it. And what I think I'll do, I think we'll stamp this. Now because that's wet, obviously your stamping's not going to, doesn't go well on wet, so we'll just use the heat tool and just give it a quick. And again, always dry it from the back as well. It'll help keep your card flat. Right, that should be enough. Obviously, it'll just stamp better if it's dry. Some light tapping. Check it's the right way up. And we'll go for sort of the middle again. Must admit, I'm going to think of something different for my third one. But I'm thinking, you know, this, you could actually make it into a Christmas card. Yeah, I think that could be one for future. I'm thinking this. That's just give me an idea. Now, the fairies I'm going for are on a lovely set of 4 little fairies called Fairy Foragers. And these I just thought were perfect for this design. So here we've got this one. And she's facing inwards. So just check I haven't got any ink on the edges. There we go. And I want her sort of facing this way. Don't want to add too much stamp into this because I love this background so much. And I just think the sentiment and the 2 fairies are just enough. And what I'll do is I'll stamp this one at the same time. Now again, this will be good for batch. That's what I'm thinking at Christmas. There's the ivy one, isn't there? I'm thinking, right, yeah. Say, I'm thinking, but you know what? This is often what happens if quite a lot of crafters get in touch and say that the mojo's gone. Now, often by just doing a simple design like this, I mean, already, as you've seen, I mean, unfortunately for me, and I'm sorry, I talk as I think, but already I'm thinking I could do this. Imagine it in greens. Or in, see, I love blue. I do love blue and pink for Christmas. But the ivy one, and we could even have a little bit of holly. Oh, yeah. So, and that's what happens. Once you start creating, the juices do start to flow and you will just relax and get into it. So that's her that way. Now, when I was looking at this, remember the acetate with it being printed? So that's when I thought, yes, see, we've got one facing each way and she looks lovely. Now, I could think we could, I mean, you could have her there, looking like she's actually holding the words. We could have her there. Or I like this one here, look, that's actually crouched. I mean, again, you could have her crouching. I did wonder at one point whether to put her down there and just, I might actually do that just to be different. Right, let's have a, we'll do these 2 different then. See, again, this is what happens. But that's a nice thing about creativity, and that's a nice thing about doing your own designs, you know. You can change them as you go in. I do love to see, it's like when we can do physical workshops, when I do workshops, I love it when sort of halfway through somebody will say, oh, actually, can I just change this? And I go, oh yeah, go for it. And then often they'll come up with something and I show the whole class and go, look at this, look at that lovely idea. You know, why didn't I think of that? And that's what we do. We can all share and get inspiration from each other. And then it's lovely when your mind just takes you and you feel like doing something different. A bit more ink on that. Right, so we're going to put her down here on this one, aren't we? Just there. And you know what, if we don't like it, it doesn't matter because I've got the one I've already done, haven't I? So we'll put her there. Yeah. Oh, see, I like that. And then where's the, I'll do this one as I did my original and we'll pop her on. That's the thing about this stamp set, with it having 4, They are lovely. Oh, got a bit of ink. I'm over inking today. So we'll pop her so she's just flying in there. I'm just going to put the lid on my ink pad. Very important, otherwise my elbow will go in it and then I'll get it on my work. So give her a little minute for the ink to soak in. There we go. See, I love those. So it's those last few little tricks, and what we're going to do is I've just got a silver gel pen here, and I'm just going to add a little bit to the wings and the hair. I mean, the fairies, they need a little bit. If you want to add glitter, that would be nice. I don't like to overdo it with the glitter because not everybody likes glitter. Now, one little thing, these fairies are moving, so in my head we want to show movement. So if I bring the finished one in, can you see here how we've got those little, just the little flicks here to donate, make it look like they're moving. I can't think of the word. Right, so I'm just going to put the flicks there, and we'll put those there. So again, it looks like my fairies are just moving. Now obviously she's stationary, so she doesn't need any. But what she does need is a little bit of grounding. I just don't like the way she's just floating. So what I'll do with my pen is give her a little bit of grounding here. We'll add a little bit of grass, put a little bit there. And then I'll come in with my charcoal, which I wasn't expecting to do this, but they're here, they're not far away. And I'll just bring in a little bit of charcoal shading underneath her, and again, just with your finger, just fuzzy it. Does two things: it cements the charcoal in the card, and also just gives that nice, there we go, just so she's nicely grounded. Yeah, that looks tons better. Oh, I'm happy with that. Then, last little thing for me. Once we put these on black, now I haven't cut any black to matte and layer, so what I'll do is just put it on top of here to show you. This white, I love white space, but for me that's almost too white. By all means, if you're happy with that, you leave it there. I just wanted to add a few little speckles to almost bring the whole design together. And so for me, the easiest way to do that was, because I could look here, and in my head I'm thinking I could go for the blue or the pink, but I love the way the purple that we blended ties it all together. So I've gone for a purple ink pad, and I've just gone for my wilted violet, pop a bit on my mat, and all I would do is get my fan brush in some water, mix it with the ink, and then just in opposite corners we'll have a few splats there. Don't need too many. I find it easy just to turn the card round. A few in there. Move that one out the way. And don't ask me why I always go for these two opposite corners. Put them there. And I'll just clean that up. And then there we have those two. And I must admit, I'm so pleased I did that there. I just think that's lovely. What I will do is, as I say, apologies I haven't got any mats and layers cut, but if I pop that over there, and then we'll put this one over this one, it looks like there we go. So they're the two that we've done today. I hope you like them. As I say, it was a nice quick catch up today. Now I am going to be getting on with recording some of those online workshops today. So if you are interested, what I'm going to do is just email me, and as soon as I've got the workshops up and running, I'll have a title, and they'll be about an hour. It'll be £5 for the hour, and it'll just be via a PayPal account, and once you've paid, I'll let you into the online workshop via YouTube, and you can watch it and craft along with me as many times as you want. And if there's any specific topics, I'm thinking we can do some resist work, we can do some blending, some gel press. One of the ladies has asked me about the gel press and brush shows, so we'll do a workshop on that. So, what I'll do is get my blog address and pop it across when I launch this. and with my workshop one, so I'm really excited about doing that. So I'm going to be doing that tomorrow and start getting some up and running. So it would be lovely if anybody wants to join me, just drop me an email. But for today, I'm just going to leave you with those. I hope you'll have a little play with your stencil, just a couple of inks, and I'm going to say take care everybody. Bye for now. Love and hugs.